Welcome to my Echo Frame Tales. Please subscribe my channel. The tension inside the Naval Command Hall could slice through steel. Every officer in the room sat stiffly at attention as Admiral Knox strode to the podium, his medals gleaming like knives under the light. The ceremony was supposed to honor the Special Operations aviators who had completed the nearly impossible Black Dagger mission, a top-secret extraction that had saved 12 operatives deep behind enemy lines. But everyone knew what Knox had planned. His eyes weren't on the medals or the men. They were locked on one persona, Lieutenant Commander Elise Raines. She stood quietly at the back, hands clasped behind her, wearing the simple blue uniform that bore no hint of arrogance. Her face was calm, unreadable, but her call signa embroidered faintly above her breast pocket read legend. It was a name whispered in the halls of every naval airbase across the Pacific, always with the same mix of awe and disbelief. No one knew how she got it. Some said she'd flown into a storm over the Hindu Kush with one engine out and no instruments, and still landed her team safely. Others swore she'd once taken down 2 enemy drones in a training simulation designed to be unbeatable. But Admiral Knox hated her, not because she was arrogant as she wasn't, but because she was better. And worse, she was young, female, and respected more than he ever had been. He'd been waiting for this day, and everyone could feel it. "Ladies and gentlemen," Knox began, his tone coldly polite, "today we recognize the aviators of Strike Team Viper for their alleged excellence in the Black Dagger operation." His pause lingered on the word alleged. "Among them, we have Lieutenant Commander Elise Raines as a call sign, a legend." A few officers shifted uncomfortably. The Admiral smirked. "Now, I've seen a lot of call signs in my career. A hawk, a blaze, a reaper, even a ghost. But legend?" He chuckled, loud enough for the sound to echo. "Tell me, Lieutenant Commander, how does one earn such a name? Or did you assign it to yourself?" A few junior officers looked down, unsure whether to laugh. Raines didn't move. Her gray eyes met his, calm and unflinching. "No, sir," she said quietly. "It was given to me." "Given to you?" Knox repeated mockingly. "By whom?" "Hollywood." A few nervous chuckles rippled through the hall. Raines didn't respond. The silence that followed made Knox grin wider. "See, ladies and gentlemen," he went on, "we live in a time where myth replaces merit, where stories become more important than service. A legend, they call her, though her file reads like anyone else's. A few missions, a few commendations, nothing I'd call legendary." He turned to the big screen behind him, gesturing to the aide. "Let's take a look at the so-called Black Dagger op. Perhaps then we'll see if this legend has any truth behind it." The screen flickered to life, showing grainy footage from a combat camera. The mission had taken place in the mountains of Kirin Province, a hostile region known for anti-aircraft nests and unpredictable weather. The team's objective had been to extract 12 ground operators after their position was compromised. It was a suicide run, even for veterans. The room went still as the footage played. A voice crackled over the comms. "This is Viper 1, multiple SAM locks aflak inbound." The camera shook violently as missiles streaked through the sky. Raines' voice, calm and controlled, cut through the static. "I see them. Deploy countermeasures. Flare pattern Delta. Negative. We've lost radar." Another pilot shouted. "I'll guide you in manually," she replied. "Stay tight on my vector." The camera showed her jet diving through a blinding storm, weaving through tracer fire that looked like lightning. The telemetry data spiked erratically. Then the feed went dark. Knox folded his arms, smirking. "And there's the end of it." She went dark. Lost comms, lost control, nearly lost her squad. Hardly the stuff of legends. He turned toward her, expecting silence. Instead, Raines nodded toward the aide. "Play the next file, please." The Admiral frowned. "There is no next file." "There is, sir," she said evenly. "Filed under Black Dagger continuation footage." The aide hesitated, then found it. The screen blinked again, and what appeared next made even the Admiral's smirk falter. The video showed a first-person cockpit feed of hers. The storm still raged outside, lightning tearing across the clouds. Her altimeter read dangerously low. Her voice, steady as a heartbeat, came through. "Come on, baby." A broken bar hold together. Below her, enemy tracer fire erupted from a canyon. She rolled hard, firing countermeasures, then dove under radar. The redoubt flickered at altitude 200 feet. Her wing clipped a tree line, sparks flew, but she never lost control. Viper 2, on me, she ordered. Ma'am, you can't see anything. I don't need to see, she said. Just trust my vector. The footage showed her navigating purely by instinct and sound, threading through terrain where no radar could function. Then, faintly, the silhouettes of 12 soldiers appeared through the rain, waving frantically from the ridge. She cut her engines, tilted into a slide, and landed on an incline that no aircraft had any right to survive. Dust and debris swallowed the camera. Then the soldiers were boarding a 1-by-Onia under fire. On me, armor inbound, someone shouted. Raines didn't hesitate. Hold on. She throttled up full power. The rear camera caught the impossible. A vertical takeoff from a mud ridge under missile lock. Her aircraft roared into the storm, one engine smoking, and disappeared into the clouds. The footage ended. No one breathed. Then a voice from the back broke the silence. Jesus Christ, a broken bar. She actually pulled it off. Raines didn't look at anyone. All 12 operators made it home. 2 wounded, none killed. Aircraft was totaled on landing, but the team survived. Knox tried to recover. A reckless maneuver. You risked billions in equipment and the lives of your entire unit. She looked him in the eye. I risked 1 aircraft to save 12 men who would have died without me. I'll take that trade any day. The Admiral's jaw tightened. You disobeyed protocol. You went off mission parameters. I followed the only parameter that mattered, she said quietly. Bring them home. The room remained utterly silent. Every officer there could feel the shift in Knox's authority shrinking with every second. Then Captain Dren, the oldest pilot in the room, spoke up. Sir, with respect to Broken Bar, I was on the comm channel. When everyone else had given up, she was still guiding us. She didn't earn a legend from paperwork. She earned it because every man on that mountain lived to tell the story. Another voice. She saved my team in Al-Karam 2 years ago. We were pinned down. No evac possible. She came through the sandstorm blind. Brought us out. Then another. She's the reason we have half our pilots still breathing. That's why we call her a legend. Not because she asked for it, or because she is one. Knox's face flushed red. He turned to bark an order, but his voice caught in his throat. The weight of the room was against him now, every set of eyes staring not at him, but at her. Raines simply saluted him. Permission to be dismissed, sir. He didn't answer. He couldn't. She held the salute until the silence became unbearable, then lowered her hand and walked past him toward the exit. As she passed, Knox muttered, barely audible, "You think this makes you untouchable?" She stopped. Without turning, she said softly, "No, sir, it makes me accountable." "That's something you stopped being a long time ago." He went pale. The door closed behind her, leaving a silence so deep that the hum of the fluorescent lights sounded like thunder. For a long moment, no one moved. Then Admiral Knox staggered slightly, one hand gripping the podium. His metals clinked faintly as his breath came unevenly. He looked out over the faces of his officers, none of whom looked back at him. Their loyalty, their respect, their belief, every bit of it was gone. He sank into his chair, the realization hitting him like a gut punch. She hadn't humiliated him with insults or defiance. She'd done it with Trutha, and the entire Navy had witnessed it. Outside, Elise Raines walked into the cool evening air. The sunset burned crimson over the base runway, reflecting off the rows of parked fighters. She paused at the edge of the tarmac, the wind tugging gently at her hair. Her crew chief approached, hesitant. "Ma'am, everything okay in there?" She smiled faintly. "Better than expected." He grinned. "The Admiral won't forget this day." "Neither will I," she said softly. As she walked toward her jet, the hangar lights flickered on, illuminating her aircraft of the same model she'd flown into that storm months ago. Now fully repaired and gleaming like new, the name Legend was painted across the fuselage, bold and unapologetic. She ran a hand along the cold metal, feeling the hum of the machine that had carried her through hell and back. For her, it wasn't about pride or titles. It was about the quiet oath she'd made every time she climbed into that cockpit: never leave them behind. From the command building behind her, a single sound echoed faintly: a door slamming, followed by silence. Admiral Knox wouldn't recover from this. His reputation was gone. His authority shattered not by rebellion, but by the kind of courage he could never understand. As the night settled over the airfield, Elise Raines looked up at the stars scattered over the horizon. Somewhere out there, the world was still dangerous, still calling for people willing to fly into storms. She slipped her helmet under her arm, whispering to no one but the wind, "Let's go to work." And as the engines roared to life, the name Legend wasn't just a call sign anymore, it was a promise.